Hello YouTube, welcome back. Networking hardware. Now, this is a network interface card, NIC. A network card, network adapter, network interface card. These are all the various names which you can describe this device you are seeing here. It's a hardware device. It's a piece of computer hardware designed to allow computer to communicate over a computer network. It has a MAC address, media access control address. You learn about it more. Every network card has a unique 48-bit serial number called a MAC address, which is written to ROM carried on the card. Every computer on a network must have a card with a unique MAC address. The IEEE is responsible for assigning MAC address to the vendors of the network interface card. International Standard for Electrical and Electronics Engineer, IEEE. No two cards ever manufactured should share the same addresses. If it happens like that on a network, you are going to have a conflict MAC address. Windows will prompt an error saying conflict MAC address if two network interface card has the same MAC address. I've never experienced such an error before, and I don't think you can experience it also. This is a picture of a MAC address. This port which you are seeing here is a port where you can connect your RJ45. This other port here that you are seeing is a port where you can connect your BNC cable. This BNC cable is the cable used to connect computer antennas, television antennas. This is the port. Back in the days, this were the cable used in networking, but now we are using what? Fiber optic cable. We are using twisted pair cable. We will see that more. Hubs. An Ethernet hub or concentrator is a device for connecting multiple twisted pair or fiber optic Ethernet devices together, making them act as a single segment. It works at the physical layer of the OSI modem, repeating the signal received at one port out each of the other ports, but not the original one. What this statement I just read is explaining is that this is a picture of a hub now, and it has 4 ports. Port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. If it receives a signal through port 1, it gives out that signal through other ports, port 2, port 3, and port 4. That is what I just explained here. This device is thus a form of multi-port repeater. Ethernet hubs are also responsible for forwarding a jump signal to all ports. If it is defect, a collision. If it's defect, a collision. Hub also often comes with a BNC and or AOI connector to allow connections to legacy in terms of way back connections. 10-base-2 or 10-base-5 networks segments. The availability of low price Ethernet switch has largely rendered hub obsolete. That is just a fact, but for reference purpose you need to know about hub. But they are still seen in other installations and more specialist applications. You know why I'm actually taking time to show you an overview. This is an overview of hub. We are going to go details into hub in future video. Is that There is a parable in our community that says, when you kill a snake, you cut the head. In other words, just to make sure your knowledge is complete and concrete, I need to tell you about hub so that you won't say my YouTube teacher didn't tell me about hub. Switches. These are the pictures of switches. A network switch, or switch for short, is a networking device that performs transparent bridging connection to multi-network segments with forwarding based on MAC addresses. Yes, switch resides on layer 2 of the OSI, but IP switches reside on layer 3 of the OSI. We'll see all these things later. At full wire speed, as a frame comes into a switch, the switch saves the original MAC address and the originating, that is hardware port, in the switch MAC address table. The table often uses content addressable memory, so it is sometimes called the CAM table. The switch then selectively transmits the frame from specific ports based on the frame's destination MAC address and previous entry in the MAC address table. In other words, a switch that has 8 ports has 7 computers connected to it. Port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4, port 5, port 6, port 7, port 8. Port 1 is the port in which the switch receives signals. Signal from the server or from any other place or from any other network device enters the switch through port 1. And every other computer, the many 8 ports on the switch, are connected to client computer or host computer. Now, what the switch does is that the switch stores the MAC address of each of those computers on the ports which they are plugged to on the switch, and it saves them on MAC address table. When a signal comes and the signal is going to port 4, the switch is going to say, okay, port 4 is marked on port 4 has so MAC address which belongs to this computer. That is how the switch knows that this packet is for this computer, this packet is for this computer, because they all have different MAC addresses. So what the switch does, when a packet is coming, the switch check this packet is for computer A, and computer A is plugged to port 8, and this is port A MAC address, and it forwards the packet. But hub does not behave so. Hub is crazy. What hub does is that when a packet come into the hub or a signal come into the hub broadcasts it. It's like shouting, hello, there is a message for so device, and the device will say, oh, it's for me, and collect it. But if the device is not for you, the other device connected to the hub will have to ignore. That is the difference between switch and hub. We'll see them in further videos. We'll explain switch further more. Hub versus switches is what I just explained in the previous slide, but you can pause the video and get a grasp. We are going to talk more detailedly on it. Router. A router is a computer network device that forwards data packets across a network towards their destination through a process known as routing suite. A router acts as a junction between two or more networks or transfer data packet among them. A router is different from switch. A switch connects device to form a local area network. It is not complete here. While a router connects LANs to form wide area network. The difference between router and switch, let me explain this more, is that if I have a local area network, I have my local area network. If I want to connect to the internet, which is a wide area network, the internet, the simplest definition of the internet is that it's a network of networks. Now, if I want to connect to the network of networks, I will have to have a router that will connect my local area network to the network of networks. In other words, for my local area network to be connected to the internet, I need a router. For my local area network to connect to another network, I need a router. Router is used to connect two LANs together. This is just an overview. We'll explain more. Hope you are finding the video interesting. Just put your mind into it. Pause the video. Rewind the video. I don't want to go more details into this, but I still want to show you so that you can pause the video and read, but I don't want to waste much time. Wireless access point, also known as WAP. A wireless access point connects a group of wireless stations to an adjacent wired local area network LAN. In other words, a wireless device like my mobile phone, or like your mobile phone, your Android, your BlackBerry, your Windows phone, wireless, or your laptop, your PDA. If you want to connect such wireless device to your local area network, you need the wireless access point, which is the diagram you are seeing here, a wireless access point. Now, these are more detailed about wireless access points, and when you are reading this, you can also see that we can have a wireless router as well. We'll discuss it more on further videos. This is just an overview. Thank you very much for watching this video tutorial. The next tutorial is going to be on cables, overview on cables. I'm taking time to take you through all these overview series and courses, because in this series you are really going to know if you will be interested in networking or not, and through this overview you can develop your interest, and through this overview you can also say, man, networking is a shit, I need to change course, or I need to look for something else, I need to go into programming, I need to go into database. But one of the secrets in becoming a successful IT person is that you must be versatile. Thank you very much for watching my video. Subscribe to my channel, like video, and